You start up a new Minecraft world and walk around, explore, and see the sights. You pass through a village and get some nice armor. It has been a bit since you last played, but so far, things are shaping up. Of course, night falls, the glorious day you just had turns into darkness. Monsters are soon to prowl. But worry not, you know what to do. 100 times before, you have survived the first night. You find a hill, carve yourself a hole, then plug up the entrance behind you. Safe. Now just to wait 10 minutes. Unfortunately, you're eaten by a GRUE. Zork is a text-based adventure game released in 1977. In it, there is a sinister monster that lives in the dark called the GRUE. In the game, if you travel to a dark place without a light, the GRUE will eat you. Originally from the Dying Earth books, the GRUE was a bat-like monster that dwelled in the dark, but now, because of the popularity of Zork, the monster is more commonly known as a horrible creature that devours wayward adventurers foolish enough to forget their torches. The GRUE has become an iconic monster that is referenced in media, particularly in adventure games. Given that Minecraft is such a game, it is appropriate that a mod has added this beastie to the game. Created by Shinoao and his mascot CFG A-Fan Stats, the mod was originally made for Teddy here for use in an adventure map. But the mod is open for all to use, up to version 1.12.2 for Java Edition and requiring Forge. Mechanically, if it is too dark, the GRUE appears and eats you. It is indestructible and deals over 999 hearts of damage, but any kind of light will make it disappear. What the GRUE does for the game is interesting. It makes the darkness dangerous, far more dangerous than it usually is. Minecraft is a survival adventure building game. Its survival elements are straightforward, and for many, that's the appeal. Don't starve, don't get killed by monsters, don't drown, don't burn, don't fall to your death, and don't get crushed are the main survival points. They all interact in different ways and are a constant part of the game's background as you explore, build, and craft items. The other elements of the game, in a cyclical fashion, assist you in your survival. Exploration helps you find raw resources that make you stronger. Building gives you a home base of safety to return to after exploring, usually with your farms for food and your bed for rest within it. Crafting uses the resources you gathered to create new items that help you gather more resources, making survival easier. Minecraft has many mods that add items, new blocks, magic powers, and the like. One of the groups of mod is survival mods. Survival mods usually focus on expanding or innovating the survival aspect of the game. This is done in numerous ways. One of the ways is by adding new monsters and more ways to die grisly deaths by monsters. Well, interesting, this is only an expansion on the don't die to monsters idea. Other mods introduce the need to drink water, which is not a new mechanic, but an expansion on the need to eat food. Adding a new kind of challenge and innovation, new mechanics into the game, like exposure, getting too hot, too cold, or a disease that slowly kills you over time, if implemented well and staying true to Minecraft's overall design, can be really good. These mechanically innovative mods are my favorite kind of survival mod. Adding the challenge that the dark is dangerous is another great innovation in this vein. If you're in the dark without light, you will die. It makes carrying torches very important. You can't mine that little bit farther without light. You're really screwed if a creeper blows up your glowstone. Light becomes crucial. There's something fun about adding the danger of the dark and the crucial need for light in the deep places of the world. Two mods that complement this idea really well are realistic torches and fragile torches. Fragile torches make it so brushing a torch has a chance of knocking it from its spot, putting out the light. In your long mineshaft, you could accidentally knock over your torch and then have to run to the next light source or be screwed. Realistic torches adds a time limit to how long torches burn before they go out. This might mean you lose track of time and encounter the grisly GRUE on your way back home. I think one or the other, or even both, add a lot to this mod. Or they would if the mod did not have one glaring issue. It uses Darkness Lib, which is a lighting mod. Part of the mod is that torches carried in your hand shed light, and that keeps away the GRUE. Now for some, this is fine, but it's not really what I want from the mod. I know that if a torch is in your offhand, then you can't carry a shield, and if it's in your main hand, then you can't hold a sword or pickaxe without risking the GRUE. Also remains the scenario of frantically searching for your sword while zombies come at you because you're too busy holding the torch. And by doing this, well, you're not fast enough, and the zombies eat you before you can whip your sword out, and if not, then the GRUE eats you because you have your sword out. Fighting in the dark, you're dead. But this fun scenario aside, it still misses for me. I don't like handheld light mods. It's not the end of the world though. You still need to place torches to have your glowing breadcrumb trail back out of your mine, but it really lowers the threat of the GRUE. In the original game, you're supposed to be holding a torch to ward off the beast, but I would still prefer that Darkness Lib was not necessary to play with the GRUE mod. That said, Darkness Lib is probably configurable. Unfortunately, I could not figure out how, as it is not the most user-friendly of mods to work with. Typically, I explore configurations down to a couple of layers, so to speak. When I'm trying to figure out mods and making these kinds of videos, it is necessary to know a little bit of how to do configuring. But I'm not that good at, and most people are even worse than me. Not even looking down one layer in this mod configuring metaphor. Those who try to config this mod will get nothing without more knowledge than the casual enjoyer usually has, and this is immensely frustrating. While Shadow Libs is a disappointment in its configuration, the GRUE mod is not. You can do all sorts of things with it. Change when it will spawn, how many spawn, in what biomes they show up, what light levels hurt them. If you like, they can attack you in broad daylight. It's really nice and easy to use. I only wish that the dependent mod was as user-friendly as the core. Stepping out of that mire, I do want to admire the GRUE's model. Really, all you need is its face, which looks a lot like the drawings, but the frog body is fine too. Although, I will note that being eaten by the GRUE's butt as much as by its face. The appearance of this beast is only secondary to the sounds it makes and the effects it applies. The build-up and shifting of point of views gives you that "oh dear" feeling, and the noises let you know you're in real trouble. The model is not necessary for the mod. You could have gotten the same effects by having a splash art image appear on the screen to scare you. Although there is something to the idea that maybe you can try to fight the GRUE with your sword, if only you were a little bit stronger. The physical model does add that. It is definitely a toss-up for me. One of the key parts of horror is that you never see the monster, and if you do, you never see it in full. You only catch glimpses of it, or see it when it's defeated, the sun is rising, and everyone can finally go home. Seeing the monster takes away the horror, but having it turn to smoke when there is light is also a nice touch. I am really on the fence between whether I want this to be a survival horror monster, or a survival threat that can be conquered if you know how to do so. So, I'll take the coward's way out and leave it for you to decide. The GRUE mod is a good mod that adds a new kind of survival to the base game. It's not everything I want, but most of it is there. I am certain that someone who delves deeper than I will figure out how to make the handheld torches no longer produce light. But I only have so much time to devote to such things before I get immensely frustrated. I do recommend giving it a try if you're playing version 1.12 or older. It's always funny when playing multiplayer and seeing that someone has been eaten by a GRUE pop up in chat. I know my older brother had a few chuckles at 14-year-old me and my deaths in the dark. But that's that. And now on to other things. Comment on other mods you want me to dive into, or give me a request for a how-to. If it piques my interest, I'll check it out and I might make a video on it. Thank you to my Patreon, Lehman Joseph. And finally, thank you all very much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.